God bless you. Welcome to the homestead. It's so good to have you join us. We appreciate you. Stay tuned for what we're going to do next and watch to the end. You never know what's going to happen. Okay, good morning or afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. I'm going to take care of this side of the yard where we used to park the truck before that limb broke and fell on it. So we're going to go ahead and clean it up so we can park the truck there again since Lee took the big limb down. And actually it's the truck or the car. I guess it doesn't really matter, but we used to park right there. As the winter rolls in, that's where we have the dirt gravel, and that's where we don't get stuck. So we want to make sure that we keep that clean and ready to park there. Anyway, not a lot of work, but work ahead of me. So I better get busy. Even trees without thorns have thorns when you get these vines that grow up inside of them. I don't know what kind of vine it is. It's thorny. Doesn't quite look like a rose bush thorn. The thorns don't look the same to me. So, don't know what it is, but it's wrapping itself up into that tree. So, just really can't win when it comes to thorns. I stabbed myself twice trying to get that vine. This is definitely not a rose bush. Look at those leaves. I don't know what it is. If you know what it is, let me know. Just cut down this. This is a small one, but you see the stalk of this, it's purple. But look, it's got these little purple berries on them. And he got stepped on or something. Maybe the tree, when it fell, the branch fell, it crushed him, so it kind of weakened him. But nevertheless, I don't know what this is either. I don't know if that's a bit dangerous. Don't want our animals to get a hold of that stuff if it is bad. There's 8-10 of these little tiny trees that are growing up. These are those little thorn trees that, and you can see the tiny little thorns that are already in there. Anyway, these right here just grow up random. And we use the Tordon, but we didn't in the beginning, and we started clearing this area first. And they said that if you cut down one of those thorn trees, the honey locust trees, and you don't put Tordon on it, then there's 4 or 5 extra trees going to pop up somewhere else. And literally it popped up right there next to these other trees along this fence line, and there were not any thorn trees anywhere on this fence line. So this root system that they have, I don't know what they look like, but they grow out and then little trees pop off the roots. And so you have to kill the stump to kill those roots so little trees like this don't pop up somewhere else. And we learn now. I would tort on that, except for the fact we ran out. When we went to the store, they didn't have any more in stock. So apparently a lot of people are trying to kill thorn trees right now. Anyway, back to work. Let me show y'all the spider webs. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but they're all over this haystack. It's kind of like Halloween. Could you see them? My umbrella, the one that I've got attached to the camera so the sun doesn't beat down on the camera, kind of got in the way a little bit. But could you see all those spider webs all over that mound? I mean, it's almost, they're just really big. Don't know what kind of spiders are breeding there. I don't even know if there's stuff living inside there. They could have, critters could build tunnels and be inside there. I don't know. But anyway, gonna have to spray over there and fix my umbrella. It fell down earlier, and so I got a spike that's kind of bent over there. I want it in front of the camera. Anyhow, I just need to put that pile with the other pile, and then I'm good. There's a bunch of dead grass, straw, like all on this side of the little rock path. And I'm tempted to rake it up, but we really have no place to put straw. We just need to mulch it back into the ground. And that's kind of a bummer because I'm, used to a pristine yard. And it's hard to get things pristine when you've got grass just laying there in the way. And it'll be fine. Back before we bought this property, and the person who owned it, I think they owned 12 acres altogether. I'm not real sure. And they needed to liquidate, so they started selling off 1 acre lots. And you could buy more than an acre if you wanted to, but unfortunately, we just didn't want to invest that money because at the moment in time when we bought the property, we weren't exactly thinking we would live out in the country or we would have this land for like a regular use. We were more looking for a home base to park our RV, to put our stuff like the 63 Ford, all the stuff we had in storage, because we were spending like $1,000 a month in storage fees for things to be stored. And so we decided that we would buy a piece of property and we would store everything on that property. And then we would travel and we would come back and this would be the place. But that was about the same time that diesel prices were going up, up, up. When we came from California, and diesel prices were hitting $8 a gallon. And we realized that traveling at those prices would not work for us. We wouldn't get very far. There were jokes that we would take off and we would travel and get run out of funds for that month and have to just stay there until we got more funds and then we could move on. But we realized that that wasn't very feasible. Might be wondering why I keep lifting the weed eater up high. That's where those zigzag spiders were, and their web's still there, so I'm kind of just cutting the web off. Those webs are pretty dang strong, actually. Sounds like thunder. Getting a summer storm. Hope you get some good rain, because the lawn could use it. And that dirt clod stuff over there needs to start breaking down. Anyhow, I'm done with the weed eating for now. When we filled that trench going that direction, there was about a 6-foot semi-shallow span of it that he did not fill. I've tripped over it a couple of times, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it off for him with the rocks. It actually feels pretty good working in the rain. It's still quite hot outside, but you don't know it because of the cool drops hitting you. It's kind of like having a little sprinkler system going on. You know, a long time ago, Lee and I, and I'm talking a long time ago too, I think it was 40 years ago. No, not that long ago. Maybe 25 years ago. Lee and I went to Disney World. And while we were at Disney World, it had one of those summer pour downs, and it was hot and muggy, but then it just started raining. Lee and I were just walking right down the center of the road there, going from one attraction to another. And most of the people, I would say 95% of the people, were all huddled along underneath the eaves of the buildings. And we were the only people, very few people, that were just walking. And it was the least crowded I've ever felt at Disney World or Disneyland, because everybody was just like, oh, it's raining. And it only rained for like 10 minutes, and then it stopped, and then it was super hot. But we were nice and cooled off. Everybody else was like, it's so hot. Anyway, I'd rather work in this rain than in the sun, for sure, especially when it's so hot. Before it started raining, the heat index was up to 104. I don't know what the actual temperature was, though. And now it's, I don't know, cooler. Thought I'd tried crushing up some of those boulders. Some of them are like rock hard. Others did crush up. It would sure be nice once we can get it all nice and smooth around there. We might decide to take the corner that's got quite a bit at the corner, take that dirt and go fill the inside where Lee's building his shop, because it's got a pretty big hole down inside there. Anyway, sounds like the dog's starting to whine. He doesn't like thunder and lightning. Although I don't hear any thunder, he might not be getting under shelter, so he might be getting wet. There's a tree stump behind me that when we took down that tree before the truck came, it was level with the ground. But after that truck who dug the shelters, the tornado shelters, drove over it back and forth, the ground shrunk down around there, and so there's dirt all around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the dirt, expose the actual trunk, and then we can come back in and try to get rid of it. Okay, that's good enough. There's some clods, but those will get, as we step over it, drive over it, whatnot, they'll pack down. There was a deep hole right over on this side of the trunk right here, and so I was able to fill it with the dirt that I got around the trunk. And so now the trunk stands up high. We'll probably trip over it. I'll put some flags right there so we can see them and be aware that there's a stump there. We put flags. You might see a periodic flag in our yard. That's to tell us there's a stump there. We haven't taken it out yet, and we don't want the lawnmower to go over the top of it. Oh, we don't want someone to trip over it. And so that's what we do there. Originally, we had all these flags around the yard to tell us where the low spots were when it rained, so we knew what to fill with dirt, or where we needed a trench dug. But it hasn't rained since winter, so we pulled all the flags so we could mow properly and everything. And this winter, I'm sure we'll end up marking some new spots because we've done so much with the yard that I'm sure we've changed some of the water flow, and we'll just have to wait to see what ends up happening. We still have that hump in the middle of the yard that's right over here, and it flows down like that right into that garage, and we need to be able to fix that. So we need that hump to come not be a hump anymore. And the yard was a lot flatter before the tornado shelters got put in, but then clumps of dirt got put up, and we've tried to flatten it down better. Now, when I say flat, I don't mean perfectly flat, because it's country land. It's not perfectly flat, but no high spots. And I'm seeing some high spots that weren't there before, and the one we're still trying to work on, which we need to bring this away, I guess. But there's a trench. I don't know where it's at now, but it went that direction. And these storm shelters might be in the way now for that. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens as soon as the real heavy rains start. It got so muddy last year that it was ridiculous. Also, once the rains do start, we're going to start on our fence because it's just too hard to dig into the dirt right now. We are barely getting this much down into the dirt when we use the hole punch. But we will, as soon as it starts raining on a regular basis, go in, and because we got to go 2 feet down, so we're going to start punching for our fence line. That'll be exciting to get the fence up next spring. Anyhow, I guess that's it for right now. Don't know if I'm going to do anything else. God bless you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on the homestead. Bye-bye now.